Good morning, welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, December the 17th, 1 week until Christmas Eve. Next Wednesday, Christmas Eve. Mark your calendars, guys. That's when you can start shopping. Hope you're having a good day. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. We had a good turnout last night. There was about 16 people at one point. Very cool. Appreciate you. Mary says, good morning, and everyone, happy Wednesday. Cold here in Virginia this morning, 13 degrees. Holy moly, that is for you guys. But going up to 54, they say. Crazy, feel like a yo-yo. That's what's been going on here, too. Last Friday and Saturday was in the teens, single digits, and up maybe until like 10. And then last couple days, we've been in the 50s, which is really strange for us. Angel says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're noticing my very cool mug. Thank you. If you didn't see the thank you, love it. Thank you, thank you. And Mary says, hi, Angel. All right, so the week before Christmas, and there is very little publishing, but we'll do what we can. We will start with, as usual, the thrillers and crime fiction, and look, there's seven books, but we will look at them. These poor authors, you know, they work so hard to get published, and you don't know which is better, being one of seven, which you think would be great, but nobody's really looking, or lost in the crowd. I don't know, you just can't win. May Contain Murder by Orlando Murin, second in the Chef Paul Delamere mysteries. While his flooded house undergoes repairs, chef-turned-writer Paul Delamere has been offered an accommodation upgrade, an all-expenses-paid trip aboard a private super yacht in the company of Zira, one of his dearest friends. Paul will help Zira work on her memoirs as Maldemer glides its sumptuous way to the Caribbean. The scenery is stunning, and the luxury is unparalleled, and the food, well, at least the dishes that Paul is roped into preparing are delicious. The hired chef, meanwhile, seems completely out of her depth. She's not the only one. Much as Paul adores Zara, a Parisian socialite who he was introduced to by his late lover Marcus, he has little in common with the other guests, a motley crew consisting of Zira's new husband and his grasping family. When Zira's priceless new necklace goes missing, Paul falls under suspicion, but there's far worse in store as one of the passengers is found dead in mysterious and grisly circumstances. The stormy weather matches the threatening mood on board, and as Maldemer veers off course, every semblance of order goes with it. Above and below deck there are secrets and dangerous alliances. As he untangles the truth, it becomes clear that Paul's sharing close quarters with a killer eager to make this his final voyage. And that is one version of Shark Soup on the cover. No, thank you. I mean, seriously, how do you turn down staying on a super yacht? But really, if you've read enough murder mysteries, don't do it. Angel says, hi, Mary. And Cajun is Heart and Christmas. Yay! Hello, Cajun. Part of the W.E.B. Griffin Estate, direct action written by Jack Stewart, 10th in the Presidential Agent series. Again, passing over to the party barge doesn't mean you're done writing. Charlie Castillo, the original presidential agent, is in Virginia Beach to visit his son when two gunmen appear. Charlie is able to thwart a deadly mass shooting, but he is hit and badly injured. Meanwhile, Pick McCoy is at the Naval Academy catching up with some old friends. When the news of the attack reaches him, he senses that this is no random event. While Charlie clings to life, Pick searches for the men responsible and in the process uncovers a deadly plot that threatens to strike deep at the heart of American democracy. Vengeance by Rick Campbell, 8th in the Trident Deception. Despite decades of treaties, military missions, and covert actions devoted to preventing it, Iran has finally assembled its first nuclear bomb, and the U.S., with UN backing, has decided it's time to take direct action. The first move is to blockade the Persian Gulf with a carrier strike group, but Iran strikes back quickly. With Russia's backing, Iran launches a devastating attack, and now the U.S. forces are in a race against the clock to survive until reinforcements arrive and a counter-strike launched. While events grow desperate in the Middle East, a plot to kill the president is unfolding. Jake Harrison, a now AWOL Navy SEAL, is lured back into action by his former partner Christine O'Connor to find and stop the freelance assassin, a man who has long been Harrison's nemesis. With a deadly war brewing on two fronts, both overt and covert, the uneasy allies of Jake and Christine must use all their resources to circumvent the coming war. And as tensions threaten to boil over, Jake will be faced with the ultimate question: what is he willing to sacrifice for the revenge he wants? Angel says, hi, Cajun. There's Cajun. Good morning, says Mary. Very short and sweet synopsis. We like those. You know? Tease it. And that's all. If I want to read it, I'll read it. The Stormridge Con by Jason Casper, 5th in the Spider Heist thrillers. The Sky Thieves went dark. Now an unseen enemy wants them back in the spotlight. After dismantling their biggest rival, the Sky Thieves scattered, each hoping to disappear. But when a surveillance drone tracks Blair Morgan and her husband Sterling to a secluded beach in the Maldives, their quiet escape turns into a high-speed getaway. Back in the U.S., their crewmates Alec and Marco are blindsided, framed for a series of high-tech heists they didn't commit. Someone with unlimited resources is pulling the strings, turning elite thieves into fugitives. Desperate and determined, the Sky Thieves reunite and begin their search for answers. Someone has them backed into a corner, and they want to know who. With time running out and their reputations to clear, the Sky Thieves must pull off the ultimate con, a high-stakes infiltration against impossible odds. But as they crack impenetrable security if they cracked it, it's not impenetrable. Dodge ruthless enforcers and outmaneuver federal agents, Blair faces an even greater threat, an old enemy with unfinished business. That sounds like a fun series. Might have to bookmark that for Spy vs. Spy. Hard Sun by J.B. Turner, 15th in the John Resnick thrillers. One sniper, one plan, zero margin for error. John Resnick doesn't trust the CIA. No one should. But when operative Daniel Black shows up near his home in Maine, he listens. A high-value target has been taken out by a sniper in Mallorca. The kill was clean, professional, and just the beginning. Resnick is sent in under deep cover to hunt for the assassin and retrieve a cache of Cold War-era surveillance tapes, evidence so explosive it could bring down presidents. As bodies begin to fall and the sniper's true mission comes into focus, Resnick realizes the stakes are far higher than anyone imagined. Because this isn't just a hit. It's the opening move in something far more devastating, and time is running out to stop it. And I didn't click on it. We'll give it its moment. And Cajun says hi back. Murder on the Trail of White, 2nd in the Inspector Arc series by C.G. Lord. He speaks 16 languages, spent 14 years undercover. Now he wants an everyday life, but his past has other plans. The son of an American diplomat, he grew up moving from one Eastern European country to another, and by the time he finished college, he was fluent in 16 languages. On graduation day, he was recruited for a short undercover mission in war-torn Afghanistan. That mission lasted 14 years. Now back in the U.S., he's desperate to leave the play acting behind, quiet the nightmares, and finally live life on his own terms. But his former handler isn't done with him yet. They never are. Forced into a new cover as a criminal investigator in Texas, he's trying to track a brutal killer, earn the trust of real law enforcement, and walk a razor-thin line between justice and morality. How do you find your moral compass when your entire adult life has been a lie? Well, it's kind of a lie. It's been undercover. Keo's got the hiccups. Lies I've Told by Ella Stone. A week ago, Louise Worthington was promoted. A week later, she is the prime suspect in her employer's homicide. Louise Worthington is living a fantasy Cleveland lifestyle. She has the perfect husband, 2 beautiful daughters, and a job she is excelling at. However, all that changes when she becomes the prime suspect in the homicide of her former employer and lover, Dustin Wolfs. Louise believes she is being set up by her neighbor, Lola Winsky, because with a name like that, that's what, yeah. Who she believes is fixated with her family after Lola's husband mysteriously disappeared 2 years ago. Now with no one believing the former vice president of Saunders, Louise fears that if she doesn't act quickly, she could lose everything to Lola. And what Lola wants, Lola gets. I had to say it. It was there. All right. That is all of the... and not a big name really among them. That's okay. We can look at some of the rest of the cozy mysteries. Not a lot of those, but we'll keep going. Oh, they do that to me every single time. The Stickleback Hollow books. Why do I even put them there? They disappear. They're there for like a day. Read it. It's gone. Murder Through the Snow by Lila Blue, 5th in the Silver Pines Mysteries. It says, all the books in this series are interconnected standalones. Claire Garner is determined to make this holiday season merry and bright. Between decorating the gallery, planning the town's annual snow stroll, and avoiding another romantic tangle between Jackson and Blake, she's juggling enough tinsel to wrap the whole town. But when a body is found surrounded by suspiciously perfect snowmen, Silver Pines goes from festive to frantic, with, they keep throwing little emojis in here, with cocoa-fueled gossip swirling faster than a snow globe. Are snow globes fast? Claire finds herself knee-deep in clues, cocoa, and Christmas chaos. Can she unwrap the truth before the killer melts back into the crowd, or will this holiday mystery be her last gift of the season? Stand back, I'm armed with cocoa. I'm not afraid to use it. Mary says, whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Great minds think alike. Dig Two Graves by Brittany E. Brinegar, 7th in the Spies of Texas series. The Mediterranean, 1950. Ooh, cool. When an ancient telescope engraved with a cryptic message is discovered in Monte Carlo, CIA agents Ginny Nicolay and Sawyer Finn follow its trail to Italy's Po River, where the stars above may lead to a legendary treasure below, but they're not the only ones searching. A ruthless criminal with ties to the Ghost Network has resurfaced, and this time it's personal. With old enemies stepping out of the shadows and Interpol closing in, Jenny and Sawyer must navigate mistaken identities, counter surveillance, and dangerous double crosses. With time running out and the price of revenge growing steeper, the question isn't just who will find the treasure, but who will survive the hunt. When the past comes calling, can Jenny and Sawyer resist the temptation of vengeance, or will their mission lead them to an early grave? Well, that sounds cool. I definitely need to add that to Spy vs. Spy. Wrapped Up in Murder by Fallon Brown, 4th in the Jacks of All Trades series. Life has returned to normal, or at least as normal as Lou Carsley's life ever gets. They're exploring their new relationship and preparing to spend... Who? Suddenly they're talking about a they. Who's the other person? And preparing to spend the holidays with their families. Or are they being a Ugh, it's one of those. They're nervous about how to fit in the pieces of their families together and if they might end up cutting against the grain, but surely nothing can really go wrong. Until Hayes, tough as nails sister, calls in a near panic. Her neighbor is dead and his wife, Kaylin's friend, looks like the perfect suspect. Kaylin says absolutely no way and begs Lou to help, even though that puts them on the opposite side of the boyfriend. But something about the whole thing feels very wrong to Lou, and they aren't sure Matt is even able to see that, etc., etc. Sorry, I don't play that game. End of that row. A Whale of a Murder by Angela K. Ryan, 5th in the Cape Cod Cozy Mysteries. When Cassie settles onto the porch of her new beach house to paint a sunrise, the last thing she expects is to witness a boat drifting aimlessly along the horizon. Curiosity turns to dread when she kayaks out to investigate and discovers the body of a beloved whale-watching guide, Eli Wethersfield. A personal connection to Eli pulls her into the investigation, sharpening her resolve to uncover the truth. But Eli's death isn't the only mystery weighing on Cassie. She and Jake are still racing to uncover the truth behind the art thief who framed her friend and stole the final years of his life. As new evidence surfaces, Red's true identity comes into focus. And I love that dog with a hat on. Chocolate Eclairvoyant by P.D. Workman, 26 in the Auntie Clem's Bakery. In the picturesque town of Bald Eagle Falls, Aaron Price runs Auntie Clem's Bakery, where gluten-free delights and charming community vibes create the perfect recipe for happiness. But when a threatening cryptic letter lands on her counter, a chill falls over the town, and Aaron Price finds herself caught in a web of intrigue and suspense. As whispers of clairvoyance swirl around the town like flour in the air, panic brews among the locals. With teenage Harold Melville, a new bakery employee tied to an organized crime family, in hot water, Erin teams up with Officer Handsome and her best friend Vic to uncover the truth. As she works on a recipe for the perfect gluten-free eclairs and chats with customers, Erin uncovers layers of secrets simmering beneath the surface. With Officer Handsome occupied with police work and tensions mounting, Erin decides to ask just a few questions. Can Erin crack this case before things get too hot? Officer Handsome, seriously. You had a choice, author, and look what you did. Murder on Mortuary Mound by P.C. James, 7th, and the One Man and His Dog Cozy Mysteries. Isle of Man, 1967. Tom Ramsey is at a crossroads, taking a vacation while deciding whether to continue the new agency on his own. The ex-policeman has also arrived to investigate stolen finds from an archaeological dig. But the case takes a dangerous turn when a trench gives way and a young student loses her life. Finding the site a hotbed of romantic triangles and jealousy, Ramsey suspects the death is linked to secrets beneath the surface of theft, vandalism, and festering resentment. And as the dog detective and his faithful border collie pursue alibis and motives with an eager young ally, they nose out key clues that could prove deadly. Will Ramsey uncover an unfortunate misadventure or a killer in their midst? The 12 Lies of Christmas by Ella Strike, 4th in the Kitty Goring Investigates series. December 1923, London. Kitty Goring isn't in the mood for tinsel or trifle, but when her mother insists she attend Lady Penelope Ponsonby's legendary Christmas masquerade at Frostbook House, Kitty dons her peacock mask, her emerald velvet gown, and prepares for a night of brittle small talk and bottomless champagne. What she didn't prepare for was murder. As snowdrifts settle over the grand estate and the champagne glasses clink beneath chandeliers, Lady Penelope unveils a scandalous parlor game, The 12 Lies of Christmas. But when one guest is found dead beside the punch bowl, the game turns deadly, and the lies begin to snowball. Trapped in a house full of high society's most cunning socialites, rivals, and a few too many coincidental strangers, Kitty must race to uncover which lie was worth killing for, before the killer strikes again. and with her loyal Scotty dog by her side at a party? An increasingly irate Detective Inspector Henry Burton underfoot and mistletoe concealing more secrets than kisses, Kitty must solve the case before the 12 lies turn into 12 corpses. End of that road. Murder at Christkindlmarkt by Greta Sinclair. 10th in the Darcy and Mozart Cozy Culinary Mystery. Darcy Finnegan expected gingerbread and handcrafted toys at the famous Christkindlmarkt, not a murder, but when a powerful toy magnet is found crushed beneath the golden gears of a newly unveiled carousel, the festive glow turns ominous. With panic spreading and a beloved toy maker blamed, Darcy can't walk away. Teaming up with her bestie Lizzie, her clever schnoodle Mozart, and Interpol agent Marcus Evans, she follows a trail of cinnamon and sawdust threaded through a glowing market. A business partner with everything to gain and an artisan with too much to lose make every stall a potential trap. But when Mozart uncovers an unexpected clue, Darcy knows one thing. Behind the sugar-dusted treats, someone will kill to protect a very profitable lie. And when the snow finally settles, Darcy is blindsided by the one twist she never expected. Bonus recipe included. We have one more, but the bell is about to ring, so we will save one for Friday. See, I will scour to see if there's any more that show up in my sources, and we'll cover those. Otherwise, we'll think of something to look at on Friday. Alright, well, thank you guys. Appreciate you coming and hanging out this morning, and if you're watching it later, thank you for watching it later. Have a very good Wednesday. Be safe, be warm, and then cool if you need to be, as the weather yo-yos, as Mary says. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours. Thank you very much, and as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.